think I've started recording. Yes, I've started recording. So I think we should start the meeting straight away, such that we don't take a lot of your time. Um, I think some of you are already engaged, and Mr. Emmanuel is in the hospital, so I would not really want us to stay here for long. Um, okay, so I think I'll first start by um, giving you a quick announcement. Um, as you're aware, this is the Board of Directors meeting um, for the second quarter. And of course, it's the Board of the Community Empowerment for Creative Innovations, CECI Uganda. And this meeting today happens or is already happening on the 1st of July, 2022. And we shall only have this meeting for 2 hours, beginning at 11 a.m., which I think already we are late by about 13 minutes. And then we'll go up to 1 p.m. and then should be able to end the meeting by that time. So I think to begin with, colleagues, I'm just going to give a quick opening announcements. Uh, the first one is a reminder to us all that this meeting is being recorded and is being recorded for documentation purposes, such that we can use it for future reference, but also could help in development of minutes in case our secretary, who is Benson, might want to reflect on certain things that could have been discussed in the meeting. The second announcement is that please keep your mics muted, at least if someone is speaking. This is just in case there is noise in your background. But in an event that there is no noise, it's okay for you to keep it on. And then since we are only the three of us, I think there would be no need for sure to raise up your hand to be able to speak. You can just unmute and yeah, speak straight away. And then the other is in case someone is having some challenges, let's say connecting back to the meeting, should someone drop off, I think we'll still make use of the WhatsApp group, and I'll be following it closely as well here, just to make sure that if there is any need for support, we can respond appropriately. And I think Benson is in touch with some of the colleagues who are yet to join us. So let us know in case there is a need for troubleshooting, Mr. Benson. And then I think the last one is quick information that I would like to pass on to us all colleagues, that one of our board members, Oleru Topista, want to be joining us today. And that's because she is coordinating an audit that is going on at her workplace between now and I think next week. So she is taken up, and if she finds any chance at all to come and join us, she will. But in an event that she's unable to, she might not. But the most important thing is we've been informed, and I think she is excused. Those are the quick announcements I'd wanted to just pass on. So this meeting, I have the agenda shared with you all via email, and I think you all should be having the agenda, but I'm going to quickly read through the agenda just in case you might not have it right there. Today, we have about 12 items in our agenda. The first one being prayers, The second being welcome remarks and call to order, and consent agenda approval of minutes, chair's remarks. We'll have committee reports, specifically the Finance and Audit Committee report. We'll have the management reports. Of course, we'll be looking at the finance as well as the executive director report. And then the board business, we'll be looking at policies, review institutional award, uh, institutional annual report, and then reactions and way forward, and other business. And then 11, we'll have meeting closing, where we'll basically review the action points and schedule the next meeting of the quarter. And then, yeah, we'll have the last item is closure of the meeting. So I think having passed already these announcements and made a recap of the agenda, I think it's okay for someone to basically open for us the meeting formally with a word of prayer.
Let us pray.
Okay.
Pray.
Yeah? Not
Yeah.
praying?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Father, thank you that you love us. You've given us life. You've given us truth. You've given us health. Father, we're converging here to ensure that we discuss matters about your people, particularly this institution, CECI, that we started it right when it was not even here. As we proceed, we need the wisdom and knowledge that we can continue to come up with the solutions that are implementable of our society. Thank you. And those who will still join us, pray that you will remind them this and join us at a later to sort it out. Thank you that you can pray with us with the in Jesus' name, we pray.
Amen. Thank you so much, Benson, for the prayer. Um, I think that the next item on our agenda ideally should um, be the call to order, which I think I've already made, that we have a quorum. As per our policy, we should have at least 3 out of the 5 board members present to be able to proceed with the board meeting. And so I think we are 3 as of now, and that means that we formally can proceed with this meeting. I think the next item probably on the agenda is for us to consent to the agenda if we can proceed with it the way it is, or if there's any need for us to make any changes to it. We can do that just as quickly as possible, and then we move on. Can we?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think we have a yes.
Proceed.
Yeah, so we can
Yes.
proceed with the agenda as it is. Okay. Um, I think the next item on the agenda is reading of the previous minutes, the minutes for the previous meeting rather, which will be done by our secretary, Mr. Benson. I think, Mr. Benson, you should just read the resolutions and action points, and then later on we can have and probably the responsible persons as well. And then later on we can have these meetings approved, and then after its approval, we can have the chair's remarks, after which we can then react to both the chair's remarks and the minutes all at once just to save time. Um, if you would like to have the mic, Mr. Benson, it's your time.
Yes. Thank you very much. Maybe I can, I can the screen.
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
My network is discussing there.
Okay. Would you like me to view the minutes for you from here? Because I do have a copy of the minutes
You
actually.
have, okay. Say, let me first try this.
Okay. Oh,
Are you,
yeah. Yeah.
are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Uh, this this meeting was CECI Quarter One Board of Directors meeting. The meeting reference is CECI Board 2023 Quarter One in T. Yeah. This meeting happened on 6th of May 2022. The location is constructive. The agenda is was prayer, welcome, call to order, consent agenda, approval of minutes, chair's remarks, committee report, A, finance and audit committee, 6 is the finance report, 8 is the executive director's report, 9 is board business, A, annual budget and work plan, B, policy review, HR and the finance policy, C, institutional annual report 2021, 10 is reaction and the way forward, 11 is any other business, 12 meeting closing, review action points, do next meeting, which is July and then 13 is adjournment, whether it is required. So people in attendance were Benson Kellis, Soro, uh, Emmanuel Lotte, Ayo Irene, Patrick, Chandika Justin. Members absent with apology or Nehru Batista. The minute taker was Benson Kellis, Soro. I go now directly to the action point. After the opening prayers, which was done exactly at 2:15 by Duarte Emmanuel, we went to call to order. And the action point was encourage equal participation and respect during meetings. That was an action point to call to order. And then minute 3 was the consent. Minute 4, the action points under minute 4 is and achieve the action points from the previous meeting where one, follow up missing minutes of the previous board and then provide an update in the next board meeting. The report should provide how the board can support the management in achieving its priority. There should be inclusion of logistics and the procurement department and the organizer. There should be addition of the potential partner in the report. So the responsibility here was put to the board, chair, yeah. And then the chair said, the action points, but separate documents, separate documents, one, in bracket, the reports, this is from the minutes, making them as annexes, and referencing them in the minutes. ensure strictly safety measures are in place and always adhere to by staff. So the secretary is given this responsibility and also the executive direction. And I mean, it's six, the committee report, the action point embrace teamwork and improve internal communications to ensure everyone in the committee is aware of its initiatives, share the internal audit TOR and the roadmap with the board by the next board meeting. Um, yes, share signed minutes of their meetings with the board. So here is the finance and audit committee which has been given this responsibility. Minute 7 and 8 is the finance and executive director's report. One, share the 2021 institutional audit report with the board. Share the 2021 external institutional audit report with the board. Make sure asset lists are comprehensive and add another column for comments regarding details of the non-functional items in the list. Ensure spoiled assets are fixed and there is a routine asset maintenance mechanism in place. Share final project reports with the board. Two, vital for internal audit, knowledge, etc. Involve the board or the FAC in decisions about audit. Develop a TOR for external advisors to be presented to the board. Proposals and any other documents that the management thinks will need support. Support in the identification of external advisors. So we have management, and then the first is the board, and then the TOR is given to the board. 9 is the business, is the board business. Forward the agenda item 9B, C, which is the review of the finance and the human resource policy as well as the 2021 institutional annual report. The responsibility is being given to the board for discussion in the next day meeting of the board for quarter two. So here the responsibility is being given to the board, and then the executive director share the institutional annual report with the board, and I think that is given to the executive director, share the finance policy, uh, and then share the finance policy memo with the board ahead of the quarter two board meeting. Carefully review the finance and HR policies and the institutional report ahead of quarter two board meeting. I think this responsibility here is given to all the board members, the board of directors. So, and a minute 10 reaction and way forward. I think there was no action point there, but the adjournment, which is the closing remarks, share meeting recordings with the members on email, send out individual polls with date and the time suggestion for the quarter two meeting with to the members. So the responsibility here is given to the board chair. So this meeting, the meeting came to an end at by 5:04 p.m. East African Standard Time. The chair was Mr. Patrick Chambidagasi and the secretary, Vincent Kemisoro. So below it is the meeting recordings link. So thank you very much, Chair, for the opportunity. I think I want to get this started.
Okay, thank you so much for taking us quickly through the minutes. I think it's time that we can approve these minutes. Um, I think you can just keep it on the screen, the minutes. Uh, Colleagues, do we have any reaction to these minutes? Basically approving them as true, as per the meeting that we had last time, if they are the correctly recorded minutes, and then we can move on to the next item, which is the chair's remarks, and then after which we can have the um, the reaction to both the minutes itself and to the committee, I mean to the chair's remarks all at once. Do we confirm these minutes as true as per the discussion we had in the last meeting of the board?
maybe we can ask
Uh,
Yes,
uh, yes.
Luate? Yes, yes, please, you have the floor.
Basically, the minutes were okay. Mm, it's yes.
Okay,
Mm,
we agree that they are as were discussed, right? Um,
yeah, for
okay,
me as well, though I am the minute taker, but I think those are most of the things that can be cleared
okay.
up.
I okay, thank you. I think I've made a quick observations that will need some corrections. I have noticed that there is a mix-up in the persons responsible in the minutes column. Um, so there's where the responsibility is actually for the management as per the meeting, but has either been assigned to the management or assigned to the board. I think there's that kind of mix-up that has happened, but otherwise the content of the minutes are true to the discussion that we had. Okay, I think we can have more uh, conversation on that. All right, moving on to the next item, which is the chair's remarks. Uh, Colleagues, I want to warmly welcome you um, to this meeting of the Board of Directors of Community Empowerment for Creative Innovation, which is the meeting of the second quarter, which runs from April to June, a month that just ended a few hours ago. Um, so this meeting today happens to be um, on the July 1st of 2022, and we are having it on Teams or Microsoft Teams. And I think as a new month, I would like to wish you all a happy new month.
Thank
Um,
you.
in a very special way, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. Um, Mr. Benson, Mr. Luate, and the other colleagues that will be joining us along the way. And this shows your continued commitment towards our shared goal as an organization, which is more to be able to contribute to stopping violence, building peace, and also developing some kind of self-reliance, as it has been enshrined in the mission, in the vision, and objectives of CECI Uganda. And I think this meeting is another chance for us to get better at what we are doing. Each time we have these kind of meetings, we identify the gaps that we have and we improve on them. And as we do that, we get better each time, again and again, and year by year. So your presence in this meeting matters. Your ideas in this meeting matters. So the purpose of this meeting for today is basically for us to review performance of the organization within the first quarter, amid the second quarter of this year, um, as per the annual work plan and budget for the year 2022. And then the second objective is also for us to receive reports from the management and committees, reports about the second quarter and any progress that could have been made in that regard. and also to provide support and ideas to the management, particularly for improvement. And lastly, is for us to review the human resource policy. We're going to have just chit chat on that. So your inputs are highly appreciated. And as always, I will request that you keep it very precise and brief. And I think lastly, I want to emphasize, um, I want to say this really, that there is need for you, there's need for me, there's need for the management, there's need for the committees to treat the minutes, the board minutes, as important working documents that must be consulted throughout the quarter and also visited before coming for meetings such as this. And this is very, very important if we are to make any progress at all. And as well, it saves us time such that we don't need to be dwelling on the same things again and again. And so just to repeat it again, we need to treat the board minutes as important working documents that we have to consult throughout the quarter, and also make sure that we revisit them even before coming for this kind of meetings. I think with that, colleagues, I want to welcome you once again and wish us a very fruitful discussion. And so at this point, I think I open the floor for us to give our quick reactions to the minutes and to the communication of the chair, and then we move on. You can just have that as brief as possible.
Okay.
Yes,
Um.
Mr. Wate?
Yeah.
Yes,
I just have a quick one
yeah,
on the minutes because we don't need to dwell a lot on them.
yeah,
The minutes were well stipulated and we went through them over and over again
yeah,
because they were shared some time back. And
yeah,
then there are a few things. I think some of them will be in the preceding items that
yeah,
we'll react to
yeah,
in the reviews and so on. But
yeah,
then to me, I'm looking at passing the minutes as it is.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my only worry is
Yeah,
if you still come back to your recollection, there was
yeah,
an issue we talked about. I think that would be in the director's report. So I don't
yeah,
need to exaggerate it here. We'll
yeah.
tackle it from one item to the other. So we
Okay,
can, I think, proceed. Yes. Thank you.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Mm.
Do we have another different um, idea or contribution or reaction to the minutes? Okay.
Uh,
Uh,
I,
yes.
sorry, I have
No,
to run,
no, no, no worries. Yes, please go ahead.
but I really, yeah, I agree with what the speaker just said, that
Okay.
some of this probably we can get in the presentation, the quotes and the like.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Thank you for your contributions, and I think I will just give my contribution as well, or reaction to the minutes. Basically, I think that the minutes are working documents that we really have to to basically be able to track whether there is any progress at all that is being made on the resolutions that we are making. Because if not, if we don't track that, then is more like we are coming to do the same things again and again, uh, which I think takes a lot of our time and makes it difficult for us to track our progress. Um, so I think it's important that we check how much of the action points made were actually achieved and how much were not achieved, such that we track um, uh, if there's any action at all that is being taken to address some of the issues that have been recommended to be acted on. And I think that is where uh, reviewing the action points become very key. That's my contribution to that subject. I don't know what you guys think, because I think I have as well noticed that there are so many items um, that should have been worked on that haven't been worked on actually, um, as per the action points and as per the documents that we all have for this meeting. Yes, Luate, you have your hand up. Please go ahead.
Can we have a document developed by the management to track the progress of our activities vis-a-vis achievements? I don't know how we're looking at that,
Uh,
so that we will help, document can help to track.
okay. I think do you mean a document to track what activities particularly? Do you mean the resolutions made in the board meeting, or you mean activities
Yeah,
done by the organization?
no, the resolution made in the board meeting, like we've made, let me give you an example. Like
Yes.
we have an audit that is supposed to be done by let me say August.
Yeah.
Then we track it. We need to track its status. Is it progressing, or it
Mm-hmm.
is still ongoing, or it is
Mm-hmm.
what? So that we track such kind of things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So we will, because the minutes
Mm-hmm.
cannot help track.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have
Mm-hmm.
an additional document?
Okay. I think
Yeah, that is just an opinion.
okay. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that input. I think that is a nice input there as well. Benson wanted to say something, and I think before Benson comes in, I just want to chip in and say that it would be actually nice to have such a document, and the reason we have the meeting template as such, designed as such, is that each time we have this meeting, we have what is called as unachieved action points. That means if, for example, under action point A, B, C, D, we have A and D already achieved, they're eliminated from the list. And what remains in the action points is only those things that haven't been achieved yet. Um, that means in the next meeting they don't feature. And I think that's how we track. And you will have noticed that the, for example, the issue of the minutes for the previous board, which have been assigned to me. I think without that kind of mechanism, it would be very difficult for us to keep tracking up to date to be discussing it, right? Um, yeah, Mr. Benson.
I think at this point it's very interesting with the fact that the minutes have a column, column action, and then assignment responsibility. Uh, which is also okay. Sometimes people, but then the type is schedule one, it grasp this and that. But I'm not so sure of how this tracking document can be. But last week, I think we have, as management, we have introduced something that we call it a Flickr. It's a software we just use it for planning.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we're giving like an assignment, like this assignment is on, say, online. It will always remind you there must be a deadline, but this follow up is required. The
Mm-hmm.
feedback and this is required. So currently we are building our capacities as management, the whole staff project. We're seeing that if you plan an activity, if
Mm-hmm.
you plan the activity is supposed to happen next week, there are a
Mm-hmm.
couple of things, tasks that you must accomplishment before you reach to the activity. And this thing continue to remind you because it is sent to your email, and
Mm-hmm.
the person who gives you the responsibility has given it to you, but now it is
Mm-hmm.
now the system informing you that you are supposed to do this. It is
Mm-hmm.
overdue. Yeah, maybe
Mm-hmm.
those are some of the softwares that we could be able to use. I know with the busy schedules you forget,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
but because of the technology now, even
Mm-hmm.
you can still access your emails on your phones. So, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that will continue to remind you again this. I completely agree with what knowledge that is spoken. And then for us, that is the way to do. Yeah, that is what we want to see, that we reinforce it and we use it. Maybe next time we bring it to the board, and if you are assigning like this to read the minutes, the action point, and if the
Mm-hmm.
responsibility is assigned to who, we now say, you are again reminded you that you are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do this and it is not done. And actually, when
Mm-hmm.
you look at the minutes as code, they have a lot of things which are not being done. For example, we are supposed to share the finance policy, and I think that one
Mm-hmm.
is not featured. It is not there actually. So
Mm-hmm.
I see already that you see, so and then the fact also report
Mm-hmm.
is not there also. But if there's something that can provoke you, I mean, remind you,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think it will be something that I really
Mm-hmm.
agree with that one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think I would not want us to take a lot of time discussing this, but I think I see the gaps that you're also seeing, and I think that is why from my communication I made it clear that it would be much better that we all treat the minutes as working documents because that is the purpose why they are actually being recorded. Because it appears that once they are recorded already, they are not visited. And that's where people forget the responsibilities that have been assigned to them. And I think that's where we have these gaps coming in. So if we treat these minutes as working documents, that we keep visiting them, because when these recommendations and action points are made from the board meeting, they are supposed to translate to the very, let's say, departments or what and so forth of the management who are responsible. And also within the board, it translates to those very individuals that are responsible for those tasks to be part of what they're supposed to do. So I think that's why it becomes very important that we need to consult this minutes time and again, because the purpose of this board meeting is for us to observe what progress we are making, and also is to provide more like an oversight role. So when these recommendations are made, they are made with that purpose. And how then do we know that actually they're being followed? It's when they can be reported back to us in the next meeting when we are reviewing these minutes and say, action point number B was done. Number C, done. Number F, no, not yet done because of this and that and that. And is put inside the minutes. It's not done, and the justification is put somewhere there, just to make sure that the next meeting we have a report that confirms that is already done. So that's why we have these minutes being recorded, the first place. Okay, so yeah, uh, any thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I'm just making some announcement which I'll put on the WhatsApp group. Received a message from Irene
Yeah.
that, hi Benson, I am for funeral. Please send my wishes to all the members. I'm sorry that I can't attend the meeting.
Okay, it's fine. So, like colleagues, once again, I feel that it's very, very important we quickly rush through. Let us know what has been accomplished, what has not been accomplished as per the minutes. That helps us track the progress we are making. Otherwise, it doesn't make a lot of sense at all for us to be having a meeting when we haven't even reviewed the progress we've made over the quarter.
Yes.
Okay. So would you like to quickly just share your screen and we rush through those things very quickly? Um, Basically the action points and the person is responsible, such that we are able to note it clearly in our minutes, what has been achieved, what has not been achieved. And we make sure that in
Okay.
the next meeting, we have the people responsible um, held accountable for it.
Are you seeing my screen?
I'm seeing my face rather.
The technology thing. Let me share the screen.
I can share from my point if you're finding it difficult to share from your end.
There we go.
Okay. Loata, are you able to see the minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I think let's just quickly rush through the action points and then you see what is done, what is not done. Um, and I think the first action point has to do with the board chair, which is me, and it had to do with basically following up on the missing minutes of the previous board. And I think this one, honestly, I've tried to do my best to obtain it, and I haven't gotten the minutes. I've done the follow-up, but I haven't gotten the minutes. I don't seem to be getting in touch with these people. I don't know what has happened, but I haven't been able to get hold of them.
Hmm.
Can we pass a resolution on this before we
Yes,
move to the next?
exactly.
Yes, we need to pass a resolution. So, how do
What?
we get them and how long do we need? How much time
Uh,
do we need to acquire them?
okay.
Yes.
Um, I think I would need this quarter. And then I will definitely maybe have to use people like Geoffrey who are right there in Uganda, who can be able to call those numbers maybe directly and something like that. So on that, I would need a quarter to still follow up on these minutes. But the follow up was done uh, on my end as an individual. Yes.
Yes.
So I don't know. What are you guys in agreement with that? And we can just
Mm,
move on to the next item.
yeah, I think for me, it is good, but then I'm also looking at the second side. If it is really a little bit very difficult, we all know the context in South Sudan. We can say we remove this. I mean, we pass the resolution on this particular item. that until when
Benson, Benson. Yeah, what we're saying?
okay, I was saying
Yes.
on this particular item,
Yeah.
I would propose
Yeah.
that instead of saying we give you another one more quarter,
Yeah.
we all know the context in South Sudan.
Yeah.
So we rather say we will continue to follow up
Yeah.
until when this person is accessed. But if it
Okay.
is not accessed, we don't need to bother ourselves, but rather we continue the government business.
Okay.
That
Uh,
is, that is,
uh,
that is my proposal.
okay. Luate, are you in agreement with the resolution proposal?
Debate on this?
Luate,
I am on.
are,
Okay.
are you
I
in,
am on.
are you in agreement with the resolution proposal made by Benson?
My network has been disturbing. I didn't hear him well.
So he proposed that the resolution should be um, to continue following up these minutes until this person is accessed. And if we don't access this person, then we will decide otherwise.
All right, then.
Okay. So have that noted in our minutes, Mr. Benson. Okay. The next item was the report should be reports should do future how the board will support the management in achieving its priorities. This belonged to actually the management. So Benson, would you like to speak to that?
Yes, I don't know in our report if it is featured, but in our management report, which is going to be presented, but we have taken that as a serious thing that we already identified how the board can be able to support us. And
So
the
that
one,
is done.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that is done. The next one is there should be inclusion of logistics and procurement department on the organogram. Is that done?
Yes, I mean, yeah, that one is done.
Okay. Um, the next item, which is also a responsibility of the management, is to have addition of potential partners in the report. And I think you want to respond to that?
Additional potential partners?
I think that is
Yes,
done. I have noticed
yes,
partners being mentioned in the report.
yes.
Okay, would you like to scroll down a bit?
Even somehow got lost from the screen.
Okay. The next action point was to develop a clear justification uh, of the new organogram versus the old organogram. Is that done?
No, 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 that one is not done.
So that is unachieved.
That one is,
Uh, Okay. Can we move on to the next? Would you like to scroll down?
I told you, I'm so sorry, can you share your screen actually yourself?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Are you facing some difficulty?
I'm facing some difficulties.
Okay, no worries. I can do that on my end. Um, so are you all able to see the minutes?
And I'm able to see.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, okay, thank you. And the action point is under minute 5, which is to share documents like reports, to separate them from the minutes and then make them as annexes instead, and then referencing them in the minutes. Um, is that done? Mr.
That one
Benson?
is that one is done.
Yeah. Okay. Ensure strict safety measures are in place and always adhered to by staff.
Yes, that is done. Yeah, that is done.
Okay. Staff are making sure every time they use helmets and stuff.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. The other action point was to embrace teamwork and improve internal communications to everyone to ensure everyone in the committee is aware of initiatives and also to share the internal audit, TOR, and roadmap with the board. This was responsibility of the finance and audit committee. I think this one maybe Luate might want to respond to this since he's a member of the committee.
yes.
Emmanuel,
No one
Emmanuel.
seems to be no one seems to be having network problem.
Yeah, I think Emmanuel is facing network challenges. Okay, I see.
I don't see him after on.
I see he's in the lobby. Let me add him. Okay, Emmanuel. Emmanuel. Sorry, you
Yes,
seem
yes,
to
I'm
be
getting
facing
you.
you seem to be facing network challenges. Sorry. We were asking
Yeah, yeah, sure.
action point number, there was a resolution number 6 under minute 6, which was to ensure that teamwork is being embraced. Internal communication was improved within the finance and audit committee, and also to make sure that the audit committee, internal audit TOR, and the roadmap were shared by the board, ideally by this meeting. Is that done? Since you're a member of the
I
committee.
think I think it has been partially done. We'll say it's ongoing. Uh,
Okay,
Basically, yes.
okay. Although
Mm.
the TOR and the roadmap haven't been shared, that is for sure. Um, so for this one, I think we'll just put there ongoing, both of them, Benson. The
Yes,
minutes. Okay, thank you. Um, Share sign the minutes of their meetings with the board. I think this was supposed to be with the other meeting. The meeting they are supposed to have sat within the second quarter, which hasn't happened. So can we as well say this ongoing? Loate, what do you think?
Uh, yeah, yeah, sure.
Because this is of the
We'll say
FCA,
it's ongoing.
FSC rather.
SAC,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Under minute 7 and 8, we have the management. Share in 2021 institutional report with the board. Benson,
Yes, we have shared.
I have you shared the
Not
the annual institutional report with the board?
we, we did not share with the board all, but we shared with the board chair.
So you're supposed to share with the board, and that is not done. So that is an action point to work on. That is not been achieved. Um, okay. And then uh this other was to share the 2021 external institutional audit report with the board as well, the signed one.
No, not done.
So that is also something that has to be done. Okay. Make sure asset lists are comprehensive and there's a column for comments added.
Yes, that is done. The asset list been made so comprehensive.
Mhm.
But I think one thing which is not being made is inclusion of the comment list.
Mm-hmm.
into the asset list. Yeah,
Okay, so you put there ongoing. This hasn't been achieved. Um, and then the other was to ensure that spoiled assets were fixed and that there's a routine maintenance mechanism in place. Do we have that?
yeah, that one is done, and of course it is also ongoing.
Yeah,
Fixing the others. Others have
yeah,
already been fixed. Yeah,
yeah.
and then the maintenance is it's just an ongoing thing.
Okay, so we have that done.
Yeah.
There's a mechanism of maintenance in place.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Share final project reports with the board too. This could help with the internal audits and for knowledge sharing and stuff. Is that done?
Repeat that.
Share final project reports with the board.
That one is not done because for particularly this year,
Yeah.
we still we have not made the compilation of final project reports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
say it is a process.
Okay. Um, the other was to involve the board or the FSC in decisions about audits. I think this this probably might not have been achieved because the audit is already gone. But ideally, this should form part of the policy that you have there, part of your practices and everything that the management does when it comes to having or involving the board in future activities to do with audits and stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, you're right. That one for this particular time, this particular quarter, it is not done because audits have already been conducted. So, and we have taken note of that as management to see that the near future where audits are being planned, the fact is informed in advance so that they can also play their part.
Okay. The other was for actually the management to develop a TOR for external advisors, which the management had suggested to be part of the organogram.
That one is not GOR for external. I think that responsibility is given to the board.
Because because I remember that the management made a proposal to include an external advisor to the organogram.
Yes.
And the management was tasked with the responsibility to exactly define what the terms of reference would be for the external advisors. Who are they? What exactly would they be doing? And how would they be recruited and stuff?
So that one is not done.
Okay. And then there's the responsibility of the board to support the management in reviewing proposals and um, other things, documents, and so forth. I think this one hasn't been done because maybe Luate can speak to that, but for my part, no one has reached out to me seeking any help to review any proposal. So, Luate, would you like to respond to this?
Basically, I think, yeah, it has not been done.
Yeah,
We're not yeah, streamlined together. But then we are hoping for the best.
yeah, but also
So
it's an
if
ongoing effort.
yeah,
Yes.
we have to make it ongoing.
Yeah,
We have to make it ongoing so
yeah,
that when we receive calls for proposals, concept notes, and so on, we can go through them.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's
thank you.
just final review of the entire thing, right? Just yeah. But yeah, so this really might not have to feature again in our minutes, but we expect that the management has taken note of this and has made it part of its practice.
Yeah.
And the other responsibility of the management, I mean, of the board was to support in the identification of external advisors. And I think this haven't been done because we do not have the TOR.
Yeah.
Okay. The other item is forward agenda to do with the human resources and so forth to this meeting. Review of the policy, we have it. Share 2021 annual reports with the board for review. I think that has not been done. And then share finance policy manual, executive director. I think that has not been done.
Not done.
Yeah. And then we are supposed to all review the finance and HR policies and including the reports and so forth. This is an ongoing effort. Okay, I think the last two, which have to do with the recordings and doodle polls, have been done. Okay, I think I hope you have noted that, Mr. Executive Director, such that
Yes.
we know next time what needs to be. And please let's work on those items that we haven't achieved yet. That's important, please. Okay, I think with that we can just quickly rush to the next item, which is committee reports. And colleagues, I want to basically inform you that I've been informed by the chair of the Finance and Audit Committee that they haven't had any meeting. They haven't sat for any meeting. So really, there's no committee report because it hasn't been shared and they didn't sit for any. I think Luate, probably you can confirm that with me.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Basically, on the finance and audit committee, we've not sat for any meeting
Yeah,
in this quarter,
yeah,
but only that we had the external audit that
yeah,
happened, and there was an email. It was an honor that you shared an email for me
yeah,
to sign on your behalf,
yeah,
confirming the finance and audit, whatever
yeah.
that happened
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
externally.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
basically, that is the activity we underwent through
Okay.
this quarter.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, nothing much we've gone through.
Okay. Uh, yeah.
Yes.
So I think thank you so much for that input, Luate. I think not to take a lot of time. Our secretary, you can note it down. We haven't received any committee report. Uh, However, you can note it down. I think we haven't received any committee report for sure. We can leave it at that. But of course, we have been informed that the committee has participated in activities which include the signing of the institutional audit. Yeah. Benson, I think we can proceed, right?
Yes, we can proceed.
Okay. So the next item we have is the management report. So Benson, would you like to give us the management reports and the executive director report? Or else, if I presume that everyone has read these reports, if everyone has, I would suggest that instead of being reread again, we can rather discuss the report itself and provide just our inputs to save time. Um, but that for sure depends on if we have read the report, if all of us. Yeah. Benson, did you want to say something? Uh, Luate, did you want to say something?
Yes, before Mr. Benson can proceed, to me,
Yes.
I think we've read through the reports and so
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at him running through these things very fast, looking
Mm-hmm.
at the activities,
Mm-hmm.
our challenges, our achievements, and what we've
Mm-hmm.
planned.
Mm-hmm.
Then we react very fast. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Benson, you have the floor. Please be as fast as you can. Uh, Read both the finance and executive director report all at once. And please be as fast as you can.
Let me see if I can share.
Would you like me to share it?
Yeah, sure. You can share.
Okay.
You can share.
Okay. I can do that. Finance report, quarterly report. Yep. I think that is it, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
yes.
okay. Yeah, right there.
Okay, for this period of June, ending April, June, uh, one we have our template that we use. It's, you see income, which is opening balance. Uh, Under particulars, we have the inclusive urban development and mobility in municipality. We have plus 4,4,932. Totally, I'm not sure if I should mention the figures here. While the general account, 3.6 million. We have care for children project, which is 1.675. We have the organizational savings, and that one is in the bank, secondary bank, which is 900,000. So that the total income, that total is 10.578670 million is under savings. Expenditure under ETF, we have purchase of sports equipment and uniform to support primary school athletics, 3 million. Transport contribution to every teachers association for transport in the sports team to knowledge. For the finals, 1 million. But bank charges is 13,300. So that totals to 4 point, I think, 800 shillings. Uh, Under care for children, we have case management and the child protection, which is 215,000. Personnel cost for the month of April to May is 911. Statutory reduction for the month of April and May, which is 448, 500 shillings. That totals 1.675. So general expenditure, personnel cost 1.742, statutory deduction 298, purchase of antivirus for 3 computers 80, purchase of hard disks 50,000, purchase of data access, board of directors meeting 40,000, purchase of office consumables, drinking water 13,000, cost 600, payment for 6 months rent, 4, 400, repairs and maintenance cost is 110, bank charges 39, and the total to 3.383 is the Can you go please? The grand total expenditure is 900, 909.718, and the total available balance is 1.206. Cash at the bank is 1.19820. And then cash at hand. Use code
It's the end of it, I think.
That is the ending. At the front, 70, 87,000. So that is the end in the finance. You can go to the asset register.
Okay.
So the asset register, we see, I don't want to go it off. No,
Benson, are you there?
yes,
Okay.
you're getting me?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying I don't want to go one by one, but all
Okay.
these asset register, they are all in good condition except for one.
I
Sorry, there's
okay.
one which is
This? Yeah.
and I think one thing in the comment that in the previous meeting that if you better to put a comment type here.
Yeah.
That, but I think that's where now I think we did not have that, but we were able to respond to some of the things. Maybe
Okay.
moving forward is something that thanks.
Okay. Okay. Let me stop sharing, and then let me share the executive director report now. Um, okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the executive director's report presented to the board of directors during quarter one, sorry, not quarter one, second quarter two,
Yeah.
April to June 2022, to 1st July 2020. So can you go on with the organization background? Can you do that? But I can come here. So uh, this this quarter introduction for us is very key. It's more or less like a summary for down and the like. So quarter two is that covered the period April to June, ended on key implementation and the follow-up of high prospect project potential for funding, specifically for the another consortium and the Mastercard Foundation. We also continued with implementation of the children rights and the violence prevention fund, as we have from the financial project in mobility resettlement and the comprehensive refugee response framework in the municipality of Tobago. Other key follow-ups and assessments were also conducted for previous projects for human stories, including the Watch on Death Camp, Saving Life Now and Future, resulting in the submission for social media updates. Management was also able to submit more 5 proposals in addition to the earlier one with the feedbacks anticipated in this quarter. Management also strengthened the staffing with key additions and programming the finance. Our engagement with the key stakeholders such as UNHCR, OPM, local partners, beneficiaries, and the like was kept alive, especially through meetings and correspondence. We look forward to next quarter action plan based on the strategic and annual plan and the goal resolution. I think this is something that is something that is transpired. Some of these things, I think it continues, and but of course we still continue to, to strengthen the spirit of ownership and
Mm-hmm.
the resource mobilization and also
Mm-hmm.
applying our innovation strategies in the fundraising. So this will be informed by the proposal we already submitted, it will go to the potential partners down there.
Okay.
And I think during the several lines, we embarked on particularly the capacity building, which I did say we introduce something called Clicker, which is particularly for planning,
Mm-hmm.
which is we are continuously taking the stuff through it and to improve on our programming and the like. We're also looking into timely reporting, submission, compliances, donor requirements, and also partner. We have corporate partners that we sometimes come in partnership together and collaborate. We also want to see that some of these things we act timely and because they are already principles put in place. Yeah, and
Okay.
you can move maybe to yeah, this one. I don't want to, yeah, we got this and complaint.
Okay.
There's partners also come again to make sure that it is supported. Like the ETF project, we have continuous mentorship and both in finance and currently I'm working on M&E. So there we are a little bit specific that the management responded to three capacity building opportunities. We have finance, personal, reporting, procurement, land, and the safeguarding. So those are external also support that we got trainings within the quarter, and it is ongoing. Yeah. So resource mobilizations, 5 calls we responded to, and we thank our board chair for always sharing with us also information in terms of fundraising, and we always we take this. And responding to that, we get into currently we have devised a strategy of a
Mm-hmm.
consortium base. And that's why if you don't see anything that within the quarter we have not consulted you, because most of our
Mm-hmm.
projects we do them in consortium. So there's a kind of wealth sharing of ideas together. So we believe that
Yeah.
maybe that is one thing that is, but we also see that if they get to submit our proposals individually, you can get as an institution alone, you can still
Mm-hmm.
get to seek your support as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can move on. Yeah. I don't know if I can talk about this opportunity tutorial. You can move down documentation. This one will also be yes. But something that I really want to comment here is the communication and the marketing. Uh, uh, we have this regular update. Currently, we make sure that our social media handles are really put in use. And then that is, we have taken that as a deliberate action. Currently, we also receive communications from people who want to partner with us. And then that is a plus. And this is because of the communication and the marketing
Mm-hmm.
strategy that we have put in place. And we believe that by partnering with the other organizations and the CBOs and the international organizations, we can be
Mm-hmm.
able to achieve more.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's more, that it sells us out. That is
Mm-hmm.
a deliberate action, and we have made sure that we have in the management, we have a
Mm-hmm.
specific person who will always give time to
Mm-hmm.
make these write-ups and share with our
Mm-hmm.
communications person who is effective at the moment. So, but although we get some little bit of challenge in this, that we, from the management, we said the staff as whole need to build capacity, particularly in the smart communication and the marketing, which
Yeah.
is key. Our partner, Real Response Innovation Lab, has already invited us to take part in marketing and the
Mm-hmm.
fundraising. I think next week, myself, the
Mm-hmm.
executive director, is going to take part in a one-day training in Kampala.
Nice.
So, and that is that is the importance of the social media. So you can move
Nice.
down. Um, yeah. Mm, ETF, ETF, in the last quarter we presented it at 23,000 euros. But at this
Mhm.
time, what we want to make at is 28,000. Because of the good work, I think our MO is being reduced, so they are adding us more money, about 8,000, about 8,000, about 6,000, 7,000 euros for us. They added for us more activities. So, and that is the good work that the
Mhm.
management and the staff body all made, and then also including the board contribution. Yeah. So the children's right is ongoing. It is a 10 of 10 month project. The course is ongoing, focusing on that.
Okay.
So MSI, you can scroll. I not see you some of the things. No? MSI is a prospect. We submitted this, and this is budget to 106 $1,000 for 12 months. We focus on measuring livelihood. We have submitted
Mhm.
a proposal to Open Society Foundation Africa in a consortium with the South Sudanese Refugees Association. Yeah, we requested for tell for 120,000 for 18 months, and
Mhm.
then we have submitted a proposal to Annabelle.
Mhm.
We also in a consortium. This is a consortium of three. We requested it for 150 euros,
Mhm.
yeah, for 18 months. And then Response Innovation Lab,
Mhm.
we have submitted an innovation, and we already went to the second level. They have informed us from the first, and then we are moving. We have already moved to the second level. So now from the second level, we don't know what is going to come out, but they
Mhm.
said we can apply for 20,000 years, which will be performance and the data analysis
Okay.
and assessment. Yeah. So Youth
Okay.
Excel grant prospecting, we submitted this also in May, so it's also more like at innovation. We have not yet
Mhm.
gotten any feedback from them. We are asking them for $8,000 for 6 months, and we'll focus on it. Yeah. So move on. In this, for this, we under the next plan, we have the implementation of the ETF activities, which we have confirmed by next week. We are going to sign a new MOU. Actually, I was
Mhm.
interrupted by a call here. The CGO was calling me, and I think
Mhm.
that is done. So for next week, we already confirmed that funds already in the municipal account. So immediately after signing the MOU, we will now receive the funds for the activities. The CARVPF,
Mhm.
we have
Yeah.
women and the capacity building and the life for the staff, which is planned for this time around. The vessel groups have already been formed, and then the funds are being transferred to their group accounts, and then we
Mhm.
go embarking on some of these key activities. We continue to follow up with Danida. This morning, last week, I spoke with the MasterCard, and I
Mhm.
think the project is supposed to start today. Today is first.
Mhm.
So, but of course, we have not signed yet the MOU, and they said
Mhm.
everything is fine. And this project is in consortium also, together
Mhm.
with Sephard Whiteside, and women, women, women organization, something, refugee organization.
Yeah. Rewa.
Yeah, so, yes, and then, of course, Rothschild Canada is a lead in that, but of course there were debates. Otherwise, this project would have started right from quarter one, but there are a lot of debate on leadership and the like. So that's why it will continue to be like that. So Danida, I made a follow-up. I mean, I was called actually this morning.
Mhm.
They were asking us if we had spending from the month of start. So now the Oxfam as a lead here in Uganda were asking if we had spending in January from the last 2 quarters so that they can
Mhm.
get the reimbursed. Yeah. So we said there's no problem, but we do not have a lot. But one of the things is we are
Mhm.
already in the two side,
Mhm.
so and our focus was that day, the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think all things are moving very well, but we are being assured that maybe this month all things will be paperwork and all will be done. We also organized field and the field and the organization is ongoing by often this press, the field works and we have team in the city who are doing their part. We have in the office, they are doing their part, and then this communication to the partners is ongoing in particular. Fundraising is also ongoing at the office. So everyone is a fundraiser. So uh, that is what is there. So I want to say thank you. This is the end of it.
Thank you so much for being brief, Mr. Benson, and also for presenting that elaborate report. Colleagues, I think it's time now that we can react to both the report, the finance report, and executive director report. The floor is open.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Luate, you have the floor.
Yes.
Yes.
Basically, this report has been very elaborate.
Yeah.
It's very nice because what I was looking at was the fundraising strategies, how
Yeah.
CC has put them in place.
Yeah.
But from this report,
Yeah.
it has come to my knowledge that CC is, I think, doing more in
Yeah.
terms of fundraising.
Yeah.
Because if you can still recall,
Yeah.
I was looking at in our previous meeting, we were
Yeah.
looking at how we can fundraise for this
Yeah.
organ.
Yeah. I think the network is breaking. Yeah. Oh, I think Luate had okay. He's just popped in. Sorry, Luate, I think there was a network connection issue. Luate, Luate, are you there? Okay. Luate was saying something important. I think he has network issue there. Okay, maybe while Luate is still, please Luate, in case you're able to hear me, you can just unmute whenever you're ready, and you can just speak straight away. But yeah, you were saying something important right there. Okay, I think while you're doing that, I can as well give my own input probably to the report. Um, okay, I think Mr. Benson, I want to thank you and the team for the good work you guys are doing and for putting up the report together. I think it's a lot of work right there. I think the report is very simple to understand, which is really good because that's really what we want. Something easy to understand and easy to follow. Um, but sorry, Luate, are you are you able to hear us? Okay.
I'm struggling, but my
Okay.
network is breaking.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh, okay, no worries. Let us know whenever you're ready to speak, and then you can just continue.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah. Thank you for putting. I think I have for me, I have just a few things to to basically raise forward as far as the report is concerned that maybe Mr. Benson you'd want to quickly respond to. I think when I was looking at the report, particularly the finance report, I tried comparing it with our annual work plan, and then particularly looking at the Q2 budget itself within the annual work plan. So I've noticed that as per the annual work plan, we have a budget of about 156 million, I think, and 500 plus as the budget for Q2. And so I would like probably to know how much of this could have been realized and what could be the deficit, if any, and yeah, how that could be dealt with going forward. And Mr. Benson, oh, okay. Or can I just ask? I have like about 2 questions to ask actually. Would you like me to ask all of them at once and you respond at a go? Or can I go one by one? How would you like it? Benson, are you able to hear me? Benson? Okay. Looks like Benson is unable to hear me. Looks today we have a terrible network. Okay. Okay. Benson, are you there? Would you like to drop off and then join back the meeting in case you're unable to hear us? Just to see what happens, maybe, if any change, if we can notice any change at all. Luada, are you able to hear me? I'm not sure if.
Yeah, surely. I'm getting you somehow now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think it looks like now it's Benson that is having difficulty hearing us. I think
Yeah,
so.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, Luada, you should have noticed in the budget, uh,
Yes.
in the annual budget, right, that there's about 150 something million, but for Q2, budgeted for Q2. And I think when I was trying to compare figures, um, I of course the report couldn't tell if how much of that was achieved. I think that is something that is
Mhm.
missing. Yeah. And then I think in the previous meeting, I also noticed that the previous report for the quarter, which last time I remember you were there and we discussed it, showed that we had realized only about 21 million and 500 within Q1 out of over 300 million that was budgeted for Q1. And I think we had a deficit of about 300 something as well million itself. So
Sure.
yeah, so I'm wondering if this kind of deficit could have been covered, and if anything at all. Yeah, because the thing is we are tracking how we are progressing in terms of achieving um, our work plan, our annual budget, which of course are all aligned with the strategic plan. Benson, are you back? Oh, it's only the two of us.
We're the only ones. Yeah?
It's only, so we have dropped from having a quorum to having no quorum.
No quorum.
So yeah, because I was really trying to compare figures. Um, and then I noticed that because we are already half into the year, right? Into the year. We have already half of the year covered,
Sure.
right? And we only have half of
Yeah.
the year to go. And as you will have noticed, that the budget for the year was about 700 million, right? Um,
Mm.
and I think based on the reports that so far have been received, I have noticed that at least doing my calculations, I noticed that we have only achieved 4% of actually what was planned, I mean budgeted for the year. And that means that we have about 95% that actually hasn't been achieved. And I think which account for, let me see, account for about 731 million plus. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think it's unfortunate Benson has dropped out. We could try to look at some of these things and then see, um, because the figures show us otherwise. The figures show us we are not doing well.
Sure.
Yes. Uh,
So on this note, what do we resolve?
I really think that it is important for us to discuss and see what needs to change, what needs to improve, and so forth. Yeah, and probably there might not be really much that needs to change. We just need to improve certain things here and there and so forth. Um, I think, yeah, of course, the budget was too ambitious. Uh, it was very ambitious. Um, but I think it was good. It was very good. And I am also aware of one of the project which really has a very significant budget, like really significant budget, which is the Danida project. Uh, no, the project Mastercard rather, yeah, because the development started when I was there, and I remember I had meetings with those guys. I developed the budgets and stuff, so it has a very significant budget that could significantly impact on on the on the annual budget a
Mm.
lot. But
Mm.
as you might have heard, they haven't signed any contract, and we can't bank on anything that we haven't signed contract, right?
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah, so there's a saying that you can only plan for what you have in your hand, because one bird at hand is better than two in the bush.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, I think Benson is here. I think Roger, you can proceed with the comment you were trying to make, and I just want to go and get something so fast and then join back the meeting. Benson, most welcome back. I think you had dropped off.
So sorry about that. The network just cut me
No,
short. I don't know what happened.
no worries, no worries. I think Luate, would you like to proceed with the comment you were making? As I just grab something.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Basically, I was making my submissions on the resource mobilization, which has been a very good strategy. We are mobilizing resources, and I've seen a lot of ways through fundraising, through writing concept notes, responding to calls for proposals, and so on. Those are some of the ways, and so on. But then, what I have to look at is one, how do we maintain our relationship with the resource partners. Because I don't know how they call them, donors. How do we maintain our relationship with the donors? That is one of the key aspects we need to look at when we are doing resource mobilization. Because you can't mobilize a resource from a resource partner and then you don't maintain your relationship with that partner. That is one. Then two, how do we impact the lives of the community? The resources we've mobilized, it depends on, it can be sustainable kind of a thing, it can be developmental, it can be in an emergency aspect. It depends on the way we operate. And then three, we need to look at, because we had our set targets. We had set targets. Previously, we had talked about our annual budget vis-a-vis what we've received now. We have not moved even closer to 10% of what we had set. So what do we do? Do we need to change strategies of how we can do these things or not? So, Benson, while you are away, I need to bring to your notice that we have been discussing our annual budget vis-a-vis what we already have achieved in the second quarter. And then when we looked at our annual budget vis-a-vis the whatever, we've only spent 4%, meaning we're still beyond limits. So now, my question to the management and the board at large is, which strategies do we employ so we can reach at least 50% or more at the end of the year? Much as we are still mobilizing more resources, but then if we mobilize resources and then we don't utilize them properly, then it won't make any sense that we are maybe a development partner or an emergency partner or a sustainable partner. It doesn't make any sense. So we need to develop strategies on how we can reach our targets. Because after setting a target, your main aim is to achieve it at the end of that period you stipulated. So basically, we need to draft some budget. So my question is to the management, what best can we do? Which strategies can we employ so we can reach our target that we had set in the beginning of the year? So I think if Benson can respond to this, then we'll come later and now streamline how we can go about it. It will be better for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lord. Vincent, I think you can respond to Vincent. Yes. Yeah, I think you can respond to that. Maybe I can just add on to what Emmanuel has already said, such that you respond at once. Would you like that?
It's okay, please.
And also there's some kind of sound. I don't know if it's coming from your earphone or something. I don't know.
Yes, I think now I resorted to use a phone instead of computer. And,
okay.
I also inserted the earphone. Yeah.
Okay, I think the earphone is making it horrible for the ears. Okay. Yeah, so the addition I wanted to make to what Loat has already said, Benson, is that we have literally looking at the quarter one and quarter two financial reports. Oh, Benson, are you there?
Yes.
Now we have two Bensons in the meeting, but that is fine. Okay. So yeah, so what I was bringing to your attention is that when you look at quarter one and quarter two financial reports, you will notice that we have only achieved 4% of the entire budget actually for the year. And I think Loat had put it very clearly. So now we are wondering what really can we do, or what does the management have in plan in terms of responding to this, or has the management actually been tracking or tracking the budget as a working document that they're supposed to visit time and again? Over to you.
Yes, thank you. I think I'm back to the computer now.
Yeah, okay.
I hope you're getting me clearly, right?
Yeah, kind of low a bit, yeah.
I can add.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for this concern, and this is the same concern that we also raised when we were doing the debrief yesterday at
Yeah.
the new site.
Yeah.
And these are some of the key concerns. How do we make the target?
Yeah.
This is a question we have to ourselves. We have the annual work plan and we have the annual budget plan. And things seem to be, yes, we put proposals, but we don't get these feedbacks yet coming timely.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
But we further convince ourselves that regardless of any feedback that comes from a submitted concept paper or proposal, whether positive or negative, we take it positive. How do we meet the target, even at least to a certain percentage? Now we convince ourselves to say, let our target remain as it is for the whole year. We evaluate them on quarterly basis, but the final evaluation will be in the chamber.
Yeah.
Because we have prospects, we have already positive responses to some projects, which we believe it will suit our budget to underline. And this positive responses are long term, they are not short term.
Yeah.
This is one. Two, we said, we agreed, and we said what we need to do is we shouldn't be focusing only on financial support. Our fundraising must be a diverse one. And this is the strategy that yesterday when we were bringing this out, we said we should be able to share this with the board. That the board should focus on resource mobilization in terms of not lobbying for money, but it will lobby for in-kind support. Like for example, things like computers. And I want to make this very practical that a couple of weeks ago, I contacted a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He is based in Canada, in fact. Based in Canada, and I raised the issue of ECD, the early childhood development.
Yeah.
So, and I think the one thing he mentioned to me that now he's asking me for a target. How much do I want to establish that? And I said I may need about $20,000 to $30,000 to fix that up.
Yeah.
And I think he said that is fine, but that might be a lot. But what will support me on is coming in July, this month actually, but will mobilize in kind. What do we need? I said computers, camera. Yeah, that is it. That is the target. So, and I'm bringing this that this is a strategy that we have put in place that we can reach out to our individuals and say this is something that we need. And then later on this will translate into our target.
Yeah.
And I got to ask that not on my own behalf, but
Yeah.
as an institution.
Yeah.
That is strategy number one. Strategy number two that we have put in place to expedite process of funding is
Yeah.
moving in consortium.
Yeah.
Moving in consortium. When you saw in the last submitted proposal, we are going
Yeah.
as a team. We are not going as a individual. And that is also a strategy that
Yeah.
we feel that we can be able to mobilize the resource. You get
Yeah.
from there small, you get from there small, and then at the end of it, you're making your target.
Yeah.
Strategy number three is, of course, there are these social events. We have put in our mind for our plan now is to make the corporate partners.
Partners. Yeah.
Yeah, we have Airtel, we have MTN, we have the banks.
Yeah.
Hmm? These are
Yeah.
corporate partners. We,
Yeah.
we, we, we are developing a concept now on how we can partner with them and they do
Yeah.
participate in some of, and they give us opportunities to do our promotions of their programs. So these
Yeah.
are locally strategies that we are putting and responding to this. We are so much concerned about the budget. The budget
Yeah.
is about 700 or 800, close
700.
to yeah, close to 1 billion. So, and we have not met, and since then we have not received any new transaction into our account. When you look
Yeah.
at this money is last year, and it's trying to pull here and there. But
Yeah.
we are also rest assured that we are going to get funds
Yeah.
because we have 3 projects that we have already confirmed with them, yes, and we are going
Yeah.
to get, we believe that these three projects are going to
Yeah.
cover up part of our annual plan and annual budget.
Yeah.
So briefly and at length, I bring this with an example that this
Yeah.
is it. But our concern was that the board also should be able to move in that way,
Yeah.
move in that way, focusing on income, not on the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for that response. Luwate, do you have anything else to say?
Um, uh, I think those are good strategies that
Yeah.
have been developed at the management level,
Yeah.
and I think we have the support to at least make ends meet.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is, what have we done so far in terms of donor retention or resource mobilization retention? This is a question back to Benson.
Okay.
Okay, I think I did not get that maybe well, but I think one, the issue of compliance.
Yeah.
Can, we put strict measures to ensure that one, we comply with the guidelines of the partners, people who give
Yeah.
us money, like currently the European funds.
Yeah.
And one thing we are very pleased of is that the technical partner hasn't left us alone. They
Yeah.
always they come in with the procurement plan. They come in with the budget, with the budget management strategy. They come in with the how human resource.
Yeah.
They come in with the how we can strengthen the human resource, and you see all this is what these are key principles in attracting and in maintaining the partner, the donor. And
Yeah.
then another strategy and
Yeah.
another strategy to put here is that reviewing our policies, that is solely the role of the board.
Yeah.
Reviewing the policies to meet the standard. We raise the concern
Yeah.
and I think these are key things that we're looking at. But then three, also the capacity of the staff who are really handling this project. And I want
Yeah.
to bring this clear to us that as a way of,
Mm-hmm.
of really ensuring that we build a very good relationship with
Yeah.
the current situation. We need the staff who are a little bit experienced and who
Yeah.
are dedicated and committed to serving. That's why the CRSVP, the Care for Children project, what we have to do is, because we see there's a need, we have to
Yeah.
bring in a volunteer. And the
Yeah.
strategy now we bring in a volunteer who is experienced as
Yeah.
well, to lead that project, and then we give the support. And then the
Yeah.
person who was holding that project, we have to bring him to another position that to
Yeah.
make sure that all of us will share our minds together and learn.
Yeah.
And that is objectively to ensure that we maintain the relationship between the partner, the funder, and then the partner implementer. Yeah, I think those are the three strategies we also have in place. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Thank you for that response. Lotte, let me know if you have any question. And I think for me, the other addition I'd want to make is that we would definitely want some kind of a capacity building on proposal development. I don't know if you guys are working towards that. That is an important component uh, because as part of resource mobilization, one of the primary targets that we need to be able to undertake to realize this is proposal development. And if we are to develop proposals that can win grants, then we need to be able to have that kind of skill set that is able to interpret the calls itself and respond to it in line with the requirements, such that everything is really knitted to the requirements of the call. And I think that is the secret of winning it all. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah, showing yourself as much as possible to be the only one that meets the requirements, every bit of it. So I think something like that would be also very good. I think you guys have really good strategies in place, I will say, which if really can be put in practice, could drive us right there. Okay, I believe that you have answered, Luate. If you have any questions, please feel free to unmute and you can ask that again. I think I have a comment basically on the ED report, which I want to quickly make. I think I've noticed that throughout the reports, both for quarter 1 and quarter 2, I haven't seen any reporting on staff training on the annual work plan and budget and strategic plan. So I don't know, Mr. Benson, uh, what has been done or what is being done to make sure that every staff understands these vital documents, the annual work plan, the annual budget, the strategic plan, which are very, very key important documents that every staff needs to know. Mr. Benson?
I'm not in them down. Maybe. Yeah, yeah. I think this is very very important. Like when you look at the report, we are kind of doing very specific. We are kind of issue based. Where we identify the gap, we respond to that. And for us, when we feel this is something that contributes
Yeah,
to the general important. But what were the put in
yeah,
currently our plan that were put as management is
yeah,
that in our last two management meeting on Friday, which we are also after this meeting, we are also going to have a management meeting. That
yeah,
what we have put is that we need to have in a week we must have a session
yeah,
particular. And
yeah,
this session, like you mentioned something about proposal development. This session must be also focusing on proposal development.
yeah,
This session should be focusing on communications and the
yeah,
marketing using
yeah,
the social media. Actually, we are the result of that,
mm-hmm,
the board chair. And
yeah,
in that, we don't call him the board chair, but we
yeah,
say the communication person in the
yeah,
names of Patrick Chandra.
yeah, yeah,
We will organize a session, an online session that
yeah,
will be able to take us through how you can write a very good, and that's general, just in communication, but
yeah,
focusing on social media. This
Yeah.
is a gap that we have to identify. And
Yeah.
then what we do, what we
Yeah.
do now with the others, with, the,
Yeah.
with, with this other document, always when you
Yeah.
bring in a new staff, we do
Yeah.
orientation. We
Yeah.
do orientation on the staff to know that this is the goal we want to achieve for this year, and then
Mm-hmm.
this what we do is always orientation. But
Yeah.
the and I think I take this as also an important note
Yeah.
that we need to have instead of focusing on orientation, but let us
Yeah.
have a kind of a workshop in
Yeah.
specific. Maybe we can take this as a way forward. If it is a good thing, go
Yeah.
back to the yeah. I was just
Okay.
responding to
Thank you.
that.
Uh, okay. Thank you. Luate has his hand up. Luate, please go ahead.
On the previous note, I think it's a kudos. Benson has responded very well. But on this note, you people are discussing, I have a separate idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I would like to ask, this
Yes.
might be in a form of a question, who develops these tools? Because in the organogram,
Yeah.
I have not seen someone like an M&E personnel
Yeah.
or a communications officer. Who develops them? Who is responsible?
Yeah.
Hmm. And because these are the persons who are supposed to take other people through
Yeah.
these documents. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Benson, would you like to respond?
Who develops those tools? Is a very important question. Um, but I think that's a very, very, very good question. Who
Yeah.
developed it?
Yeah.
By virtue, by
Yeah.
virtue of the institution, one, the management come to the proposal.
Yeah.
The board takes up
Yeah.
to recognize and ensure that it is the right one. But
Yeah.
if we are talking about the organogram,
Yeah.
at the management level, they have moved that as a motion and
Yeah.
we say this is something which is workable. But
Yeah.
defending will defend ourselves. Even
Yeah.
if there is no position for M and E, but we still be in position to defend ourselves. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, the
Yeah.
decision, the resolution must come from the board. That
Yeah.
this is what is workable.
Yeah.
So who develops? The management can come with this because the management works with a diverse community and
Yeah.
identify those gaps. And then
Yeah.
they bring these gaps and they present to the board that this is what is happening.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is exactly how it works. So the final say on the development of those documents is made by the board, but it's the responsibility of the management to make the proposal because it's the management that understand the exact context of their operation. The board is not actively engaged in the day-to-day running of the organization, and so might have very little information or understanding of the needs that are there. That is why it is more like the management's responsibility to develop the proposal, bring it to the board provides feedback, take it back to the management, work on it until when the board agrees and says, yes, this is fine, it's workable now, we can pass it. Yeah. Luate, I'm not sure you're there, are you?
In fact, the latter has enough to
Yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm there.
Okay. I hope he has answered your question.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So and I just want to put that again clear that even review of the policies, the proposals are made by the management. So the board comes in to support in and see, okay, we need to change this, we need to add this, we need to do this and that and so forth. But the management comes with those proposals because the management understand exactly what they need and how it should look like. Yeah, just in case that question might be there in the future. Okay, okay, okay. I think Mr. Benson, yeah, let us have it as a resolution that the management must ensure that the staff are taken through the annual work plans, budget, and those kind of stuff, such that every staff knows, and especially those at the managerial level should be able to have those very documents at their disposal, because it's very important in terms of guiding them in decision making and so forth. Okay, I think I have another basically a quick contribution as well to make. I think, Mr. Benson, I've also noticed that you've not been able to report on the percentile progress that we've made in terms of achieving our annual work plan. And I don't know if you have an idea how much of this have we achieved in terms of our work plan. Even the budget was missing as well, the percentile progress, but because it has to do with the figures, I was easily able to figure out the progress we've made. But I think the percentile progress for the annual work plan, probably not. And of course, as you will notice that in the work plan, we have several programs planned for the second quarter, basically, which is distributed between 9 objectives within the annual work plan. And I think the first one has to do with the database programming. The second one has to do with the human resource strengthening. The third to do with the peace building programming. The fourth to do with the skills-based life education. Fifth to do with the livelihood resilience programming. The sixth to do with environmental conservation programming. The seventh to do with the resource mobilization enhancement. The eighth to do with results-based reporting. The ninth to do with strengthening of internal governance and management. These are like the major areas of our work plan. And I don't know, in terms of all these areas, how much have we progressed in terms of percentages and stuff?
That's true. We have not been putting in percentage. And so I think that's a reality that is very important. But when you look at resource mobilization, there's a lot of focus put on that. And then human resource strengthening is something that is putting very much key.
Yeah.
So, others, of course, others are financial based, so that requires finance and the like.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, I want to admit that we have not been really tracking in terms of percentage.
Yeah.
And probably maybe this is something that we need to do.
Yeah. Okay. I think, yeah, let's have that, I think being done. Okay. Because why that is important, Mr. Benson, is that we need to know the programmatic targets that have been achieved in Q2, right? As per the work plan. We need to know what remains. We need to know how many people actually benefited from those that have been achieved, those particular programs that have been achieved within the quarter, and how many people exactly could have benefited. We also need to know if the others haven't been achieved, why was it so? What happened? What affected it? And going forward, how will it be dealt with? And I think I can give you an example that when you look at the work plan, right? For example, Q2, I think Q2 we have under objective 1, which is to establish and support peace building programs that contribute to peaceful coexistence. We have so many programs within there. Let's say organizing community outreaches on peaceful coexistence. And we have the target here. The target is 5,000, right? For the year. We need to know out of this, how many of these community outreaches actually have been organized, and how many people did it benefit? Um, so that is just important to give the board a picture of what is happening and transpiring on ground, and also in terms of us achieving the annual work plan, because we need to track that and know really where we are progressing and so forth. Okay, I think um, the other, I have another, this one is really now not a question, but just comments to make. Um, I'm going to say like 2 or 3 points, and I would want to hear from you guys what you think about it. Uh, I think I noticed that there's a form of consistency of minimal statistical data reporting in terms of the reports. So I think that it would be much better, much better if we can have data that actually back these reports. For example, if we are talking about this number of people that have been reached within the quarter, we should be able to have the disaggregated number of beneficiaries that have been impacted by what programs. We need to know the disaggregated number of activities that have happened. If, for example, there are meetings and so forth, how many meetings actually happened and those kind of stuff. That kind of disaggregation give us a picture of what really happens than when it is just plain, say we had meetings or we had these activities. Because at that way, it's very hard for us to be able to really track the progress and to understand what that is in practice. The second one is that I've also noticed that the tracking issue, tracking the progress, I think can be a little bit difficult, especially when we are tracking progress in terms of thematic areas of the organization, because this very work plan is not outside the organization's thematic areas. And so when you look at it that way, I think it can be difficult to follow how much progress are we actually making. Let's say under peace building, how much progress are we making, and this and that and that and so forth. So in my own opinion, I would think that it would be much better as well to have a disaggregation of the programmatic impact of each quarter according to the thematic programs in your reports. But of course, it has to be consistent with the work plan. Let's say, for example, objective number 2 of the work plan falls under peace building. And peace building is also one of our thematic areas. We have it under there and say, okay, Q1 under peace building, we had this and that. If we organized maybe 10 outreaches, yes, this is what happened, impacted this number of people, and so forth. If we had dialogues, we had 20 dialogues, impacted this number of people benefited, and so forth. And then we have livelihood. We had these VLC, VSLA groups, and so forth, which is all part of actually the annual work plan. But you realize that we get to know everything that happens within each thematic area. Easiest way of following what is happening. And I think that if we can have something like that, would be really good. We can have something to do with the peace building report we have under peace building, that kind of disaggregated programmatic impact reporting, under education, under livelihood, under environment, and then under maybe the last section, which could be administration, institutional development, and sustainability, because that's long, such that all those other things, and I think I've noticed that most of the reporting has been around here, administration, institutional development, and sustainability, when you look at the executive director report mostly. And yeah, I think the other would be to really feature all major events in your report. For example, I'm not sure if Luate is aware, but I think Luate, one of the things that has happened is that those of Benson are moving to a new location. The office is being moved to a new location. And I think you will have noticed that that has not featured in the executive director report, which is a major event that actually should have featured. So I think that's another thing that needs to be noted, Mr. Benson, such that the board is informed. But of course, I'm also aware that I have received a letter explaining all that. But I think it will be good to feature that in your report as well, which the letter will back it up. Yeah. And I think, yeah, I mean, under compliance, you guys are doing great for sure, except that you should be able to add in more information on compliance with the local government, for example. Are we complying with the, let's say, payee? Are we complying with the NSSF, among others? Are we complying with the local authorities like the OPM, the UN Shara, local government, which we are supposed to submit reports to quarterly? Are we complying with that? Yeah, I think basically that for sure. Yeah. Over to you, Benson and Emmanuel.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. And I think this observation is really right. And this was that way I moving forward. Always when we present reports and we begin to realize certain gaps that we need to fill. First of all, the issue of progress that that to put some of these things that comment, and I think it's key. Personally, as the executive director, I'm taking note of this. I want to see that in the next meeting, we should be able to have a different outfit. So it's very important. Also, one thing I tend to discover here that all the activities we implement, probably we should be able to have some of those measurement, action plan. That is very, very necessary for us. So every time I come for a meeting, I get new things, and that is good. And I always translate this to my team, and because I want all of us to move together. I don't want to do someone.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is something very good. And I think it's helpful. Let us see what
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Ruade, any reaction to those quick observations?
Basically, I would say we've exhausted a lot of what we can do.
Yeah.
What we will do is we'll have to go back and sit down in the drawing board and make adjustments to what we've done. But otherwise, we're on a good track,
Yeah.
hoping for the best.
Definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. There's a saying by Mark Taiwan. He says that continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. So we're in the good track. Okay. Please.
Before you come in, there's something
Yes.
that because these reports,
Yes.
we file them for
Yeah.
future reference. So I wish that at a certain point, when these reports are shared,
Yeah.
like for me, most of the time I share these reports with you, and then I will request you to share with
Yeah.
other members.
Yeah.
My observation there will be that when I share with you, and they see some gaps in
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Not to one week period and that is make some comments and see how we can fix this.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, we needed this report to be also posted onto our website,
Yeah.
and people can also learn from it.
Yeah.
So, and this is also one way of also attracting new partners that we use this as a way of also communicating.
Yeah.
So the challenge, we are not able to meet our target for this quarter. We
Yeah.
bring in the could have been this. And then
Yeah.
there's already a percentage equity grade people who are supposed to reach this percentage, now we already reach this percentage. So this
Yeah.
is a hope that I can hold
Yeah.
future capacity.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Thank you for that. I think I've taken note of that. And I think, yeah, please, Mr. Benson, let me know if you're free. If I am free, we can have a chit chat and see um, how we can work that out, right? Yeah. Um, I think for me, I will be available for us to have that kind of conversation. Okay, I think we can move on to our last item, which is basically agreeing on timelines for the policy review, which is basically the HR policy, because the finance policy hasn't been shared to date. We only received the human resource policy, and also we haven't received the institutional annual report, so we are not discussing that one. We are only looking at the HR, agreeing on timelines, and maybe if we have, I believe we have all read it anyway, because it was shared some good months back. So if we have any reactions particular to that one, and then we can agree, can we have someone take the lead in the process? And then we can work cooperatively together, set timelines, and then just make sure we can get this policy done, reviewed as soon as we can, and have it passed. Any suggestions? I think that's the last item we have. And I'm not sure we can do much on it because we just really, it's a matter of agreeing on certain stuff. And maybe as you're planning to say something, I just want to cite a few things to you and say that according to our board policy, well, section A of our board policy, actually, there's Article 3. And I think Article 3, when you look at it down there, it says that it's us as the board that are responsible for making sure that the policies are reviewed. So we have that responsibility of making sure that the policy is changed, reviewed, or so forth. We have the final say on that. However, any board member or the executive director propose to the board that a policy should be added, should be changed, or even should be removed, right? Maybe looking at that particular time or context and so forth, the policy has become irrelevant. Like, for example, if we had a policy on COVID-19 and then COVID-19 is no longer there, I think the director can propose that now this thing is irrelevant. We have to take it off, right? So, and then, of course, the board is in a position to basically review the policies and make sure it is as clear as possible, and also to make sure that the policy that has been proposed by the executive director or any other board member is compatible and fit with our purpose as an organization. And also for making sure that there is a way of monitoring it and so forth. Yeah, and also to make sure that it's consistent, right, with other governance policies that we have as an organization, but also that exist in the country of operation. Yeah, and I think basically that, yeah. So usually the process of reviewing the policy is this simple. The first, it starts with a justification for revision of the policy. That means like, why should the policy be reviewed? What is wrong with it? Once that is clarified, and then we can have recommendations. And then after recommendations, of course, we look at what actions can be taken or have been taken and all those other stuff. Yeah. And then, yeah. So yeah, that is basically it. Otherwise, over to you. A lot of talking. Okay. Benson, Loate, are you guys there? Do you guys have anything to say about
Yeah, I wanted the market to say.
oh,
Thank
I, I think Loate might be having probably a network challenge. You know, Ombai doesn't have a very good network. I've been there before. So it's really understandable. Yeah. Vincent, you were saying something. Yep,
this is the network here.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
I was saying, I was
Yeah,
saying, I am standing in the two legs. One leg on management and one leg on the dog. So I
yeah,
wanted the market because of that, but it is very important.
yeah,
Because right from one doing the installation of the new box,
yeah,
that it gives an starting.
yeah,
Yeah, so, I think when suggesting that they can have at least a year here
yeah,
instead of do something that can be competitive. I
yeah,
would suggest that we have a small committee
yeah,
particularly on that policy,
yeah,
data policy.
yeah,
I propose that to someone like Duarte, Duarte takes
yeah,
the lead, Duarte takes the lead and then a year and
yeah,
then and probably the secretary
yeah,
and then you see that until the end of the quarter,
yeah,
got the end of the quarter, or within the quarter, and
yeah,
having extraordinary board meeting can be called specifically to look at
yeah.
the policy and the project and the committee.
Yeah.
That is just my submission.
Okay. Thank you for that submission. Okay. Luade, are you able to hear us really? Okay. I think Luade is still experiencing network challenges. I think I will agree with you that let's have a committee of 3 people, probably, or even 2 persons. It doesn't have to be a big committee. Um, to basically take the responsibility of overseeing this review, because it's going to be a lot of back and forth, right, between this committee and the management and so forth. Yeah. Um, and then agree on a time that this task can be completed. And I think a quarter would be fine. Um, and then they can do their work depending on how they want to do it. I think for me, the easiest way would be Google Docs. You really don't have to mate or anything. You just have to do your things on the computer, and that is it, which is very easy. You get to edit the documents in real time, make everything and so forth. And I've read the policy, and I really don't think there's a lot there that really needs changes. I don't know. But yeah, probably the justification could provide more information on that. And then, yeah, the end of the quarter, we could have the final review and passing on of the policy. But that means in between the quarter, the third quarter, we should have like several reviews for that back and forth, and so forth, so that by the time we have the meeting, it's necessarily to pass it, such that we don't have again to push it to the fourth quarter and then take an entire year reviewing only one policy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you
Totally
think.
agree. I totally agree with you. That's why I was saying we can have we can have an extraordinary board meeting, but now that
Okay.
will depending on the committee. And I
Okay.
also what and, and if we will not have the extraordinary meeting, like you said, at a certain point, the committee will not be able to share the version they already have. And they say from us,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
that we already feel it is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Any member of the board can have the input,
Yeah.
and then at the end of the quarter, then it will be just presented like this and say all that happened is
Yeah.
okay, then we
Yeah.
pass it to law.
Yeah.
So I think also that way it works as well. So
Okay.
yeah,
So what should be the resolution from this meeting then? What are we resolving?
I, I, I'm thinking that we resolve, like you said, the version made it from the management, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
one, we, we, we resolve that in water and the iron
Mm-hmm.
okay, to review the
Mm-hmm.
policy,
Mm-hmm.
play that role, and
Mm-hmm.
then share with the rest of the members at the
Okay.
level then done with it.
Yeah.
So I
And
think
share
for
it
me,
for review.
share it with all the members and small input, and then maybe if they identify something, push it back to them and say we
Mm-hmm.
want to start with this. I don't know if there's any way that you feel you can add it or to not like that. They can also have all this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, I think that is good. Yeah, I think that is good. So we make sure that we can have about two reviews, that this committee can send the policy for review twice.
Yes.
And then the third time is just in the third board meeting, which will just have it passed into law, right? Okay. I think, yeah, that is fine. That works. You can have that noted. Yeah. Yeah, that works. Okay. So who should take lead? I think we need to have one person that is responsible that we can easily communicate to. Who should take lead
I am
of?
thinking what I don't know. I'm saying you here, but I think the latter should be taken into that.
Okay. Okay. So Luate takes lead, and then we have they work together with AO. Okay. Would you like to, after the meeting, reach out to Luate and confirm if that is something he can do?
Sure, after the meeting, I will also inform Irene,
Okay.
before the minutes are shared.
Yeah.
We will have that in the back.
Okay. Okay. I think yeah, that works. Okay. I think from my side, Mr. Benson, I think I don't have much for sure to put uh, to add. I think the last item now on our agenda is probably another business, if there's anything else. Otherwise, we are done with the items for the agenda for this meeting.
Okay, I can come in before I go to that. Yeah, let me just get back to the other business.
You're
This one,
you're sounding so low.
oh, I was opening my notebook. Please
Oh,
open.
okay.
Yeah. Another business that
Yes,
we thought we able to present from the
you're still
management.
sounding low.
As another business that we thought
Yeah,
we could get to present as management to the board so
yeah,
that they where we started with one.
yeah.
We are thinking we have been facing challenges in the issue of the co-found,
What's that?
co-founders like the organization. CECI
Co-founders?
co-founders, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have been receiving people who come and say they're co-founders, and sometimes when they come, their presentation is not really so much of and that was really kind of a support to the
Mm-hmm.
staff
Mm-hmm.
on one of the conference that was raised yesterday when we were doing the briefing.
Yeah.
So, and
Where in
then
Bilibili?
now here in office,
Yeah,
particularly in the on site here,
yeah.
in the on here. So the co-founder issue that probably will need to present to the board to the
Mm-hmm.
anybody addressing the issue of the co-founder. So
Mm-hmm.
that we say that so that we
Okay.
are on the same page.
Yeah.
Then and then in two, we also we also looked at we also looked at ensuring that the, as a consideration there should be a policy on
Mm-hmm.
communication, a policy on communication,
Yeah.
communication policy.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very key. We learned this and we've been learning this because we have the website, the social media handles, how do you
Yeah.
communicate, who is supposed to communicate at what time,
Yeah.
mm, and
Yeah.
what kind of information is that. So the
Yeah.
policy is able to reflect how message dissemination
Yeah.
can be done. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is another issue
Yeah.
that I think is another business.
Yeah.
And then we, we had, let me see what I not good here. Yeah, the issue of the fundraising, which I already made we have put as a strategy, that
Yeah.
we should not be able to focus on solely income, I mean, finance fundraising, but
Yeah.
the board should be able to also do their part in terms of mobilizing resources,
Yeah.
in-kind resources. You need
Yeah.
someone that gives the challenge with us. We just need this. Someone gives us a piece of cloth. Someone gives us something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that is something that the management has looked into that they should be able to, the board
Yeah.
should be able to diversify the
Yeah.
resource mobilization.
Yeah.
The other thing is the staff as
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah.
The staff,
Stuff what?
the staff as whole, the whole body of
Yeah.
the staff
Yeah.
body as whole.
Yeah.
They wish that one time the
Yeah.
board members, they also need to know who the board members are. I always talk about the board members, who are they.
Yeah.
So we need to organize, they are calling for an organization of an online meeting
Yeah.
like this, that
Yeah.
all partner the board members can be projected. They will see them all in the screen,
Yeah.
and they can also be able to see who the staff are. Then
Yeah.
we do a kind of introduction and use this online thing. But
Yeah.
also they propose that those who are within Uganda, particularly those in Arua,
Yeah.
they, they, they can have a purpose visit, come and see the office, say hi, not necessarily there should be a program for you
Yeah.
to come, but just schedule yourself, then come and see. So those are,
Yeah.
I treat this as another business, and those are also contracts.
Yeah.
that need from the staff
Okay.
as team. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for raising that. I think I will start with the last one, the one to do with the staff meeting the board. Um, I think I remember in our induction meeting of the board, in our first meetings of the board, all these things were literally given back actually to you, that you should take this up with the board members. And I remember, I think one of the person primary contacts was Topista. And if people see how you can plan yourselves to have this happen, and the idea was to have this in person. But if it is unable to happen in person, how can it happen online? I think this really is for sure in your at your discretion. Plan it the way you want with the board members at an agreed time that everyone agrees to, and that is fine. And I think that is solely really something that you can plan with the board members and see. You can make these proposals and see. I don't think it's really something we need to discuss in a meeting, probably. But you can find a way of discussing this with the board members. If you can call some or so forth, is also fine. Yeah, it's also fine. Regarding the communication policy, I think this really has to be part of our minutes, and then we can present it in the next meeting and then see how we can go about with it. Um, and then challenges of co-founders. I don't know what exactly is the challenge, and how many uh, people came there.
I, I, I personally don't not not really experience that so much. What is
Yeah,
concerned at the beginning from the start. And one scenario was I think it was in this week.
yep,
Someone came to the office and was making stress.
yeah, pardon?
And I'm saying I think one
Yes,
of the reference made was that in this week, early this week,
yeah,
one of the persons came to the office and he
yeah,
just sat. He sat. He could not talk. He was just looking up and down and they said nothing. And then when he was asked, and then he said he's a co-founder of this. So, and then the way he was presenting himself was kind of a war and so on. And that brought in a kind of concern to them.
yeah,
Yeah, but if you are a co-founder, you should be able to come and greet people, say hi and say, listen,
yeah,
and you know, introduce yourself. I am so and so.
exactly.
You don't need to come and scare people by look only. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I look at that as but the way forward, actually, that he was proposed that we say what we will do
yeah,
is one, we actually would need to know from you as the chair
yeah,
and
yeah,
also the co-founder. How
yeah,
many co-founders are there?
yeah,
We all actually will need their picture. We can put a kind of gallery up and
yeah,
say this is a group of the co-founders.
yeah,
Some of them
yeah,
can do somewhere and yeah, that is it. So that we
yeah,
recognize the
yeah,
management and the stakeholders recognize and respect that this is it, these are co-founders. When they come, we all,
yeah,
so that we also invite them into our events where we have
yeah,
events and then they are available. We invite them to our events. If it means celebration, we say we are celebrating the success
yeah,
that we started, something
yeah,
that was started and we have seen it going. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, Except one person who contacted me, I think it was last month, about computer, and they also introduced himself to me as what? As a co-founder, and he supported he supported saving with the computer. Now the computer got stolen. That time just he did not have money, so he did not ask you about the computer. Now
mm-hmm,
asking me now the computer. I said, yeah, but it's fine, yes. But you, I don't have a really documented story about that.
yeah,
But, 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 but if you have links with the people who were there,
yeah,
please contact direct. But no, I have contact with the justice. He said, then that is fine. Then I let me get the communication from there that there's this. Yeah. So these are things, these are things that people come and they do that. The other one came, but you see now these people they eat a lot of money. Yes, it just easy. And yeah, and we started with this, and I've been experiencing this, but the good thing I am always, I'm this person who is free. When you come, you get annoyed. I am
Yeah.
already laughing, so there's no way you get annoyed with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the approach I've been using, but still we are saying we need a clear definition of these co-founders.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
about what I was thinking so much loud in my mind that these co-founders, including the board members,
Yeah.
we need to have a policy of how these co-founders
Yeah.
and the hard working style, I mean hard working board members can be
Yeah.
supported in the near in the future. Maybe
Yeah.
it will not be them, but it will
Yeah.
be their children. Listen, it will be their children who will benefit. For now, they
Yeah.
will not benefit in anything, but their
Yeah.
children, how will their children benefit if we have a long-term vision of
Yeah.
making the organization grow? And
Yeah.
how will these people benefit even when they
Yeah.
leave? You see?
Yeah.
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 So that is something that was just what we're thinking about
Yeah.
to avoid friction. People come there with different interests and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
So I think that is what I can say. It's also an addition to this
Okay.
topic.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For raising that. I will want to say this very clearly to you. Uh. Oh. Okay. I think we are done with the meeting. Can I can I pause the recording?
Recording, yeah. That's,
Okay.
this guy is not a guy now.
Okay. This is
Okay.
now. I don't know, a casual conversation or something.
Yeah, it is fine. It is fine. You can take like a 10 minutes.